And we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the original Grayscale Game Boy, Link's Awakening, Pokemon Red and Blue, and Metroid 2 were like really the great gems of the console. I had and I beat and I enjoyed Super Mario Land, but it always felt like a weird Mario knockoff to me.
Yeah.
With like the weird flies and sphinxes and bugs and
the fact that there's like the carrot which gives you the bunny suit and stuff.
no, it's weird.
Adam. What a cool guy.
And this is one of the nice things, because it's like, so often elevators were used as like a load screen.
Yeah.
A like well-disguised load screen. Which I always appreciate. But,
I'm trying to think. Obviously, you know by now that the 2D era of like pixel art games like this is easily what I think video games are like the best.
yeah.
Like, you can play Skyrim like a million times, but it'll never be as like cool and pure and like full of as much adventure that I feel like when I played games like Link to the Past. Like, the fact that that was a top-down Zelda, everybody's like, oh, it's so weird. Like, you can't make them like that anymore. But like, Link Between Worlds, the like 3DS sequel to it, was super good, and like it worked out. And Phantom Hourglass, and I never played Spirit Tracks, but I assume Spirit Tracks was top down as well. Like
they're all great games, but when you go back to like looking at what a labor of love it was to like be able to like slam two pixels into one another and like have them look good at the end of the day, when you were like sketching out on graph paper what you could work with, you know. It shows how much more like creativity they were forced to like pour into it, as opposed to like having the Unreal Engine and all this like out of the box material like ready to go.
I think that's the thing that bothers me is occasionally when the Steam sale comes around and I download a game, I'm like, oh, this game's only like $10. Like Just Cause. Yeah. Just Cause isn't a bad game.
You got a lot of fun out of it though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with the grappling hooks and all that shit. But like that's the thing is, and the more I play it, the more I think that it might be the same team that did Red Faction Guerrilla, because like it's set up in the same like kind of revolutionary style, but like that was just way more of a fun like adventure to me than like games where it's like, oh well, suddenly the standard is everything has to have physics, everything should be able to be destroyed, and like I like it when they take a chance and not just do the same thing like over and over again. Like that's why I think that Metal Gear Solid 5 and Breath of the Wild were bad games, is because they were like, oh well, it's an open world game, it doesn't matter how people play it, they're gonna play it their way. And it's like,
I get that like Skyrim was a money printing machine, and that everyone since it happened has been trying to capitalize on it, like Bethesda firstly, between re-releasing it for everything, including the microwave oven. But like, and then like they tried to capitalize on it even more with Fallout 4. Yeah. But
well, see that my whole problem with Oblivion, or I'm sorry, my whole problem with Skyrim is the same problem I had with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 isn't a bad game. Skyrim's not a bad game.
They're good games,
but Oblivion and Fallout 3 both relied more on the mechanics of the world than the actual combat. Whereas when you play Skyrim and when you play Fallout 4, obviously the biggest appeal is, oh well, you're just supposed to kill things.
Well, the best example that I heard, or the best wording I've heard it put into, is that the deeper into generations of games we go, the more big AAA titles sacrifice depth for width.
Yeah.
And it's about making the biggest, thickest game that you can with the most content, when it's not necessarily quality or like anything worth experiencing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Skyrim, narratively, is a more shallow experience than Oblivion.
Yeah.
And the same can be said, like, arguably of Oblivion over Morrowind. But,
Yeah.
like, it comes at the expense of having to do the reading yourself rather than having voice actors read it for you. And even more so in Skyrim, where they streamlined leveling so you don't even have to hunt down a bed to, like, again, it's that instant gratification.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, I've played Skyrim quite a bit.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad game.
I signed up and got the stupid $100 pre-order version.
Oh, yeah, don't you have the Alduin?
Yeah, I have an Alduin statue somewhere, but...
Not here.
No, I don't think here.
Oh.
But, it is what it is, and I was, like, really, really excited when Skyrim was announced and when it was in production, and even when it came out and I was playing it, but after... Like, the aftertaste of Oblivion versus the aftertaste of Skyrim was just, like, a lot more fond for me.
Yeah. The big thing for me was the storyline. Like, I love the fact that the last quest, or, like, I can't even say it's the last. Well, yeah, the last quest of the storyline for Oblivion isn't like, oh, fight and defeat this big monster.
No, it's escort.
Yeah, get through the city. Like,
it's Martin has a job to do. You are his, like, last hope. Get him there. And that's so much different than fight a big dumb dragon like every other big dumb dragon that you fought so far. Only this one's bigger and dumber. Like, I get that they were really proud of, like, what it took to create that, but I think that they sacrificed a lot to essentially give us a less rewarding experience.
Yeah. Like, I also felt really let down by the guild quests.
Yeah.
Like, there was no... I mean, I guess the companions were kind of the Fighters Guild, but it seemed like nothing... I mean, Oblivion had so many good quests. I'm not even going to touch the Dark Brotherhood, which is probably forever going to be the best, like, storyline in any, like, game ever.
I like that the way the Mages Guild was set up. It was letters of recommendation. You had to go into...
Oh, shit.
You had to go out and prove that you were worth letting in.
Yeah.
And you had to get a letter of recommendation from every city in the game, and now everything's centered in Winterhold. And yeah, they don't have to do the same thing every time, but so much of it's point A to point B, kill point C. What did you get from that dad room? Did you get bombs?
Oh, I did. I thought I just got
that's what that
security
was.
clearance. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Which I think...
oh, that...
I think you might be able to use it up on that cracked wall, too, and get a quick power-up out of it before you get too far. Missiles are good. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Missiles are
It
good.
looks very distinctly cracked, yeah.
I thought something was up, but I was like, missiles can't break it. No. I'm powerful. But, like, easily my favorite quest in Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Oblivion, was the Fighters Guild quest, where, like, you go to the Black Marsh Company after they've been messing with you, and, like, you find out their secret, and then
find the awful tree in the basement.
Yeah, and, like, your entire, like, guild, like, everybody who was in your guild just teams up and it, like, fucking curb stops.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say that's my favorite in Oblivion, but I do really like... there's too many in Oblivion for me to pick a favorite quest. Like, honestly.
The Thieves Guild was cool.
Thieves Guild was cool. It wasn't my favorite, but I've never... I like it more than the Skyrim one. I've never been big into thieving in... Like, I don't need a guild to tell me how to be good at stealing stuff. But, yeah, Dark Brotherhood was great. The Colosseum was great. And, like, the fact that the Colosseum had, like, the sub-quest of the Grey Prince and everything else.
Which one?
Right, I believe.
Right, if you want to fight. You lied.
But I think that... And I you run the risk of sounding like a hipster when you say things like this, but video games going mainstream hasn't done the medium a lot of favors. Yes, it's great to see the attention and the money and that being treated as an art form and everything else, but something has been lost in translation.
I agree.
I think in going from a niche market to like a worldwide phenomenon. More on that next time.
Yeah, see you guys then.